After adding 3 players to its offense, the Missouri Tigers went out and added a defensive player through the spring transfer portal window Saturday morning, with Ohio defensive tackle Braelen Henderson committing to the program, bringing some extra depth, security, and a little bit more of a different skill set to this Missouri defensive tackle room. This is a position group where 5 guys constantly rotated last year. The only guy that's out of the equation now is Christian Williams, the leader of that group. You add in Jason Dowell as well, the freshman coming in, and now Henderson. And so they were also willing to play around 6 guys. It was down to 6 guys, the rotation was last year at some point. So this is definitely not a group that Corey Batoon and Eli Drinkwitz are going to go short in. And so with Henderson, again, on that security note, insurance-wise, I do think he does add a little bit more comfort for Missouri. If Jalen Marshall and Marquise Graciel don't make the growth that this coaching staff is expecting, that's not to say they've lost faith in them, they lost faith in the growth they can make. But again, it's not like you can make additions throughout the college football season like you can in the pros. You got to have your roster set down. And so with Graciel, the big thing they were expecting out of him was to become a little bit more of an every down player and not just a big run stuffer. He cut down a little bit on his weight this past offseason, already into the spring, looking like a more explosive athlete. Here's Al Davis, the defensive line coach, and Eli Drinkwitz on Marquise Graciel.
Sure. Just understanding really for him is foundational play. Get the call, get a line, do your job, right? Obviously, he's a big guy. He's going to be a first, second down player for us. But he showed us some pass rush through this spring camp, and that's what we needed out of him. We needed him to show us he can play first, second, and third down.
Marquise has really improved with his weight, getting his weight more under control, and so that he can be more explosive and continually find that next disruptive player.
As far as Jalen Marshall, the fellow redshirt junior, it seems to be that effort is the question for Davis and Drinkwitz. Here's Drinkwitz on that.
We really are challenging Jalen Marshall. He's got all the potential in the world to be a dominant football player, but he's got to want it more every single day. So we're challenging him to do that.
So maybe with another veteran in that room, Jalen Marshall will have that necessarily push to make those correct steps here. Henderson coming over with plenty of experience. He's taken over 700 snaps the past few years, the past 2 seasons with Ohio. And so he does offer a little bit of a lighter skill set as well at 6'3", 280. And out of the 4 guys that are expected to be the main parts in that defensive tackle rotation, so Graciel, Marshall, Sterling Webb, Chris McClellan, Braelen Henderson is going to be the lightest one out of those. He was mainly used as a pass rusher this past year with Ohio, although he can play as a run defender as well. But in this Missouri defensive tackle room, when everybody is healthy, he won't have to do as much of that. So he does offer a little bit different of a skill set there. And I really just think this move falls in line with the main goals for Eli Drinkwitz in Missouri in the spring portal window. They weren't really looking for positions to check off a list. That's what Eli Drinkwitz said a week before the portal opened in that press conference. They didn't have any huge positions of need that they had to add to. But you look at this addition of Henderson, you look at the addition of wide receiver Xavier Lloyd, and then Jalen Lurley along the offensive line as well. They're experienced guys that add a little bit more comfort, confidence, security, and maybe a little bit more competition for some younger guys on the roster. So this is the 4th edition for Missouri in this portal window. Like I mentioned, early Lloyd, and then also Gavin Hoffman, a tight end coming over from Iowa. So might be one of the last few moves I would expect for Missouri football in this offseason, and again, falls into line with what they were looking for in the spring portal window.